So, truth to be told, I held off on the Tentacion thing a little bit because I had to get my facts straight once again. What's crazy to me, alright, and you could say what you want, feel how you want. Why did his uncle run? You know what I mean? I guess people's natural reaction is to run, but now it's starting to come out that not only did these guys that committed the crime follow him, you know what I mean, in some way, they showed up where he was, number one, before he got there and was around hanging out. They left it. And I agree with some of the other vloggers saying it was a crime of opportunity. Yes, because they went down the street to get the mask. They didn't pull up prepared. Now, what's crazy is how this dude wore orange slides, you know what I mean, and was caught on camera with both. It's so stupid. I don't have nothing to say about that. It's just so stupid. But what bothers me is that he's that stupid to pull up in the same slides. But then also, if you look at the details behind it, how did he know Tentacion was going to be there? And I don't care what no one says. I feel this was a semi-setup. Listen, as a superstar, you got to be careful who you're rolling around with. The jealousy factor and things, you may have a cousin or somebody that you truly care about that would be jealous because you're a superstar, and then they're hitting up people and talking with people. It turned out that this guy was following not only Tentacion, but some other people on social media that he was good with. Now, that's a crazy factor because that is the way we see most setups occur, because of jealousy or someone that was out of the loop but really put things into perspective to do. Now, I know that's what happened, but my confusion is, why did this man's uncle run? Why'd he run? Why'd he hop out and run? This is your nephew, and you hopped out and ran when I'm sure he had you riding in his new car. He did a lot of things for you, but the moment his life's in danger, you hopped out and just you dipped. You ran as fast as you could when he stood there by you and allowed you to be the one person going places with him. I know this has to be eating him up because the situation, and just, if his uncle was going to be with him, he should have been prepared just in case. Listen, as a superstar, you guys rolling around with thousands and thousands and $200,000 cars. You can't play the game that way. You can't do it that way. You literally have to be ready, especially if you're, let's say, making music of a certain tone and feel. You can't do that. That's literally the death of major superstars, that they were rolling with people they thought had their back, but they didn't. Literally, you might as well roll alone, if anything, if you can't get that same respect that you should be getting from the people around you. If you're rolling with people around you, you got all that money, and they're not going to have your back. Why would you hang with them? You might as well be by yourself and just have a bunch of weaponry and a bunch of ammunition yourself. Why not? I don't get why people want to include people who seem like they set you up. The fact he got out. Now, here's the thing. I seen the witness testimony, and here's what bothers me. Now, the guy said, you know, it was a fan. They talked to him in the store a little bit. They said that he got blocked off in the van, but they hopped out and pointed the weapons. How did they let the uncle run away? I don't get that. How'd they let him go? Okay, let's say the focus was Tentacion. Let's get past that. The uncle ran in and caught up with the guys who ran in to call 911 once they seen it happen. Either that uncle is one of the fastest men alive, or he literally just ran in a perfect direction. He couldn't even be checked for running, because they said hop out the car. He couldn't have opened the door to hop out until they said hop out the car. And then I'm finding out these guys were following on social media. There's a lot of gray area to this. I'm really not feeling this story I'm getting. It's something else to it. There's another edge. And they have warrants out for 3 people, but haven't announced the other 2. There's a lot going on. I just don't see this as a clear-cut thing. It doesn't make sense. It's not sensible. You knew where he was at. This guy's so dumb. He pulled up in orange slides he wore normally on Instagram photos they used to convict him, Like, he couldn't have been the brains. And they said he wasn't the one that hopped out. No way he was the brains. There was someone he had to be communicating with. This guy, he did everything wrong when you're doing some type of robbery or something. What he wore, being on camera, going and getting the mask and stuff right before you do it. Like, he wasn't even prepared for it. How do you show up somewhere to rob someone and you're not prepared for it? Dress for it. He literally got prepared after he saw he was in the store and left. How long was Tentacion in that store? Did he leave and come back? There's a lot of questions that aren't answered. And when this happens, it normally turns out to be a setup. I repeat, it normally turns out to be some type of setup. Because that's how it works. Like, someone on social media could have said, oh, he's over there. They went to actually check if he was there. Then they left. How far was the store from the shop? How long was Tentacion in there shopping? There's a lot of things that aren't making sense. A lot of questions that need answered before a finger can be pointed. And when this type of stuff happens, this is how you literally know there was funny business. I repeat, it doesn't matter if they're blood family. Doesn't matter if you knew them for a while. You need to understand that when a certain amount of fame and glory comes, you need to properly educate and prepare yourself. Even before that, prepare and educate yourself. Because the thing is, if he knew that, let's say the Stilo or the guys that were in the shop, so he was real comfortable. There had to be some era of protection or being around there that he's been there before, that he felt comfortable, because no normal star with his amount of money would roll out like that without being prepared for anything. And you know what I mean? It's a gruesome way that they took this man out. So I do hope justice is served for him, but what else is going to come out? Because it really doesn't make sense to me. I really don't see what's being described as the end-all be-all. I don't get how these guys were able to do that, then even slide off the scene. What's the reaction time of the police? Listen, we always get stopped by police. Like, I know people, like, listen, even me, they literally follow me places. They send their mother to follow me places. Real fact. That's how sick some of these policemen are. And that's no lie. I got the proof. I could take a picture of his mother next time she comes in trailing me. Like, I get the information and they don't know I know. That's why I laugh. Because I got the same way you got your mother watching me, I got people watching you. Like, you don't get it. Like, connections are everything. Friendships are everything. Getting to learn and know people is everything. How? How did they do it? He's a superstar. How weren't they prepared? How wasn't his uncle prepared? Why'd he run? You know what I mean? I guess that's the natural reaction, but that's your nephew. I could have just imagined my nephew. Like, I couldn't imagine leaving him there for dead. Like, that'd be something that haunts the back of my mind. So when I'm hearing it, I'm like, that doesn't sound right. There's a lot of things that don't sound right and a lot of questions that aren't answered. This guy that they got, he allegedly never left the car. So there were two dudes that did the murder, but he was maybe the getaway driver, allegedly. What's going on? There's more to this story that we gotta wait to come out. So, you know, that's what I'm happy to see. I can't wait for it to come out. There's more to this story. There's no way it's that cut and dry. I've never seen it. Never seen it that way. Especially being the level of artist he is, the way people were there. The fact the guy asked him for a picture, you know, he kind of said no, went to the car, they blocked him off. Like, how did these guys get ready to block him off? And from what I understand, allegedly, it was in a nice area. If you go into the nice areas, police are always trailing you. No. How was the guy that did it free? How was he free? Go look up his history. Go look up his history. I learned last night. How was he free? Now, I've been arrested for some stuff. For what he was arrested for, how was he free? That's the problem with authority. So when I start addressing this stuff, I don't want to hear nothing. How was he free? Multiple grand theft autos, violent arrests, like domestic, like he had a domestic and a weapons battery charge. How wasn't he doing 10 to 15? Easy. He's 22. How'd he get free? That's another thing we need to stress. And, you know, that's part of what we need to understand. They allow people to fall through the cracks that commit crimes of that magnitude, but you're going to try and lock me up. You want to lock me up for what? when you let the guy who has 2 grand theft autos and battery and weapons charge go free? How stupid is that? And you're still coming from me. And how dumb is that? That's what you guys do. And that's why authority are the problem. You're the problem. You're, honestly, a roundabout way, you're responsible for Tentacion's death. Because you allowed trash to be free. Someone who never gave a ish. And look at it, man. Just go look up this guy's name. It's crazy. And it's so consistent. This is so consistent. The people who are the most threat are let free, while these pigs harass people who are living everyday lives because they want to pad their pockets, look good for their friends. Oh, get an arrest randomly. Oh, get a speeding ticket to bring money in. It's a joke. You don't even catch murderers. There's so many murderers you have yet to catch, and you're riding around giving speed tickets. What am I supposed to respect? Who I respect? Name one person I'm supposed to respect because of that. Can't catch the murderer, but you can hand out a speeding ticket. Hey, congratulations. All rights reserved just gave you your props. You feel better? You guys are responsible for this. You're always going to be responsible in a roundabout way when you let career criminals go free, but you harass normal everyday people. And that is the normal. That is the normal. And I promise that. When I release all rights reserved.